Morning, morning.
Good morning, Jeff. I think is coming. His computer was giving him issues logging in.
He took a break off of work for a week. Well, I am not a fan of the cold.
Yeah, me either. My run this morning was pretty chilly. All right, hold on. I think he's in. Let's see.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, there we go. Happy Monday.
I hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas season.
Are you calling it over? Are you declaring the Christmas season over?
I am. I've eaten all the leftovers. They're all gone. So we're starting fresh.
All right. Well, this is going to be a fun session here today because I know you are too. I'm going through all kinds of things and evaluations and thoughts and ideas and visions and really kind of tapping into my inner fuck how to figure out what can we accomplish this year that's a game changer, off the charts crazy, puts a huge ass smile on the face. What type of upgraded lifestyle do I want? Right. And without even a question as far as how, right? It's the outcome, right? So that's what I want to kind of talk about today is step one, right? What do you need, right? Need is a relative term for every one of us because, you don't need anything. You're fine the way you are.
Well, let me comment on that.
So,
That's why every year we stop doing classes this week. It's for all of us to sit there and do the fuck how and just start, what could I want to have happen in my life? And so it's not just take vacation and screw off. It's schedule some time with yourself to do a little dreaming, right? Because we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, of course, we've got 100 and something closings happening too.
mm-hmm.
But, the 8:30 to 9:30 hours, make that sacred. Make that just be your time to fantasize a little.
Dream, bust out the notes on your phone, start thinking about it and figuring out what is it, right? What do you want to do? And what's possible? I get excited because we're walking into, I truly believe, the best quarter in the history of the real estate industry. Is that possible? Is that true?
I'll tell you right now, January is already scheduled to be twice as much as January last year.
Okay, well, there you go.
Not 10% increase, not 20%, 100% increase, more than that 100% increase. I mean, just from my perspective, because I manage the whole thing, I hate January because we suck every year, but this year we didn't. So we're rolling in, but that's not the key. What we're doing now, when we're forecasting our quarter one, it's new business. So a lot of you are going to really rock it hard with your closings. That's the work you did 90 days ago. So we got to keep the effort from 90 days ago going into this year to make it the best that we have. Right. And that's scary because a lot of people could rest on their laurels. When you make twice as much money in January than you did January last year, you could sleep in. Right. But that's not the message we want to carry into this year.
No. And then the warning is it's not going to stay like this.
Right.
It cannot stay like this. It's impossible for it to stay like this. So it is what it is right now. So I just want to make sure we're grabbing this bull by the horns and we're just taking it and just riding it and just making sure that this is the best quarter you've ever had in the history of your life. And that's a big statement, but everything's perfect to make that happen. The only thing different is if you're not dreaming big enough, you're not giving the reasons to come to you, the reason to come to you. So that's kind of one of the things that I want to make sure we chat about a little bit today is like, what's possible? Because the only limitation we have is the limitation that we have, right? It's the governor that we put on our brain. It's the governor that we put on what do we deserve? Is it okay? Is it, should I really have that? Is it necessary? Are people going to think weird about me if I buy that? Do I really need that? Should I have that? And all these drunk monkey social issues that come into your brain really suppress, I think, a lot of people. And I want to kind of chat with you and just, we've done a lot of work mentally right? Working with Matthew and just coaching and just evaluations and readings and expanding our thinking to see what's possible.
Yep. Reading chats as they
Right.
come through.
Yeah. So let's talk about, how do you unlock your brain? It's kind of let's just start there. Like, what do you do to let you think about things that you normally don't think about, and think that it's okay to have it, and not feel guilty about getting it, and kind of taking the governor off your brain and saying, you know what, this is okay to have? What do you say about that?
Well, it really is just a matter of dreaming. What was popping in my head is the little thing in the back of our brains called the reticular activating system. I think we have to understand that's a real operational tool, and it happens. Jeff, you and I, Matthew goes through with us, 10 areas of our lives that we're supposed to set intentions for what would make it a badass life. Right. And at the end, and every 2 weeks we talk and we rate how we're doing on these things. And at the end of the trimester, we total it up. And, these are manifestations, and, your personal life, your fitness life, your health life, all those different things that are important, not just the tangible, I want a new car, I want a new boat type of stuff, but your lifestyle, your relationships, your health, all those type of things are important. And at the end, and I think you and I both finished around the same score. 72% of all the items I wrote down were accomplished. Right. And so I want everybody to realize we're not just talking about stuff. Right. There's more important things than stuff. Right. I like stuff, don't get me wrong. But, it's not just about stuff. It's about security. It's about comfort. It's about your loved ones. It's about all those things. So I just don't want everybody thinking, I definitely have a material gene. But when you sit down, and even when Chris Reed's going through his Wednesday classes, he talks about Tony Robbins' Wheel of Life.
Yeah.
And all those, that's the same concept we're talking about here. So focus on the whole picture, not just, I want a new car and I want to buy a rental property.
The best thing for me that works from the primary aim perspective, right, is I'm visual. And I think most of the people watching are, right, because you're watching. And if you're consuming with podcasts, you're more auditory, get it. But let's tap into your inner visual for a moment, right? The thing that really helps me get back on track with the planning is the movie, right? It's the visual. It's you have to become in alignment with your vision. So Dad does it well when he works the primary aim. It's 5 years from now, right? And let's do that vision for just a second. 5 years from now, it's December 28th. 2026, right? And you're 5 years older than you are today. Your wife or husband or loved one is 5 years older. Your kids are 5 years older than they are today. Then it starts to get fun, because in my mind, here's what I do. It's a movie. It's a motion picture movie that runs in my brain. And it's 5 years away, and I'm sitting down or watching this movie. Now, it's either going to be a horror flick, a drama, a thriller, a love story, fiction, science fiction. You get to direct it, whatever the hell you want to happen. But to me, it's a helicopter flying in, zooming in on a person in a car, right? And then it's you, or in this case, it's me. And how do I look 5 years from now? Right? Whose choice is that? Mine. I could be 700 pounds if I really worked on it for the next 5 years. Or I could be in peak fitness shape and looking pretty good, which I opt for that one, right? What am I driving? Like, what's a cool ass car I feel like I'd be driving in, like now, a couple quarters from now? Like, what would I want to be cruising around in? This is my movie. The theme music coming in, and then you're driving in your car and you're pulling into your house or your condo or your boat, whatever the hell it is. But you see how the visual starts working? Okay, so now you're getting out of your vehicle, whatever that ends up being, and you're walking, right? Hopefully. And you're walking into a domicile, whether that's a home, whatever it is. What does that look like? Where should you be living? What do you want to be in? Right? And what's the view out back? And to me, when you walk inside this home, to me, it's a home. There's people there when you walk home, or a person, or a furry thing. Whatever it is. There's something there that you love that's greeting you that makes you feel good too. Who is that, or what is that? And then how old are they? What are they looking like? And kind of walking into this whole thing. What is the home like inside? And you guys are getting ready to, look around the faces and see what's kind of around you. then you're getting ready to go on a vacation, right? A kick-ass vacation. You're getting ready to pack and to go. Where are you going to? What experiences are you about to have, right? You see how your brain can really start to have fun with this one and say, okay, I would love, this movie's awesome. I would love to be cruising around in this. I would love to pull into a home that looks like this. I'd love to have this person or this type of person sitting there lovingly, right? I would like to have this be my home. I'd like to have this be my view. I'd like to be going on this type of an experience, and forget about how, right? That's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, but most people don't even go through this step right now that we're just kind of playing with right now to unlock your brain. Because we could say, hey, you know what? I'm cruising around in a 1985 Yugo down to my broken down single wide meth lab mobile home, right? And I got some crack addict hanging out on the couch, just shooting BBs at me or something, or throwing beer cans. Whatever story you want, have fun with it. It's yours, right? Or you could be really having a beautiful little lifestyle and making it happen. And then whatever you commit to, you're just gonna watch things fall into place to make that happen. If you do the exercise, if you don't, you're just going to be bouncing around without the rudder. The old analogy, ship without a rudder doesn't go anywhere. You're just going to be exactly like most people with no clear direction, right? So sorry for that little rant, but to me, it helps, that visualization, that movie creation. And that's the beginning of the primary aim form that every one of us has and at nauseum has talked about, but I just don't think we've all done it enough.
Well, what is the one problem we all have when we start doing that? The M.
Mm-hmm. Drunk monkey.
The drunk monkey gets in your way and says, no, you don't really need that. You could be fine without it. Your friends will be jealous of you if you do that. And all that bullshit comes into your head, which interrupts your dream. Right?
Yep. Absolutely. That's the only problem. That is the only problem we have. And I have it, you have it, right? Constantly. I'm redesigning my house right now for no other reason except I want to redesign my house, right? My house is a pretty sweet house, right? But I want it better. I want it, not better. I want it different. I love it the way it is. It's a perfect place. It was my dream house years ago, right? Just the way that it is. But I want to keep going and see, let's push our limits to see what we can do. We're not slowing down this company. We are cranking it up and just going. It's going to produce cash. We got to do something with that or it's not going to produce cash, right? That's the kind of the thing. So what is the next level for your home? What is the next level for your car? What is the next level for your body? What is the next level for your relationship? What is the next level to shut that drunk monkey up and say, I'm going to do this with or without you, right? You're going to have to take control over that. So Puma, what do you say quietly in the background?
I was just here to make sure neither of you ignored the other person because you guys tend to go on rants and do that. No, I'm with you on this. This is something personally that I've been actively trying to get better at because I am an extremely visual person like you are. Historically, I've been terrible about actually writing down goals. They're always in my head. And that's just how I've always operated. And obviously, that's been proven time and time again to not be the most effective way. So I've been trying to use, this tool to get better at that myself. And honestly, it does work. Once you put on in writing, at least for me, I'm super competitive with myself. So I know that the second that I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do everything in my power to actually do it because I can't handle mentally not accomplishing something I told myself I was going to do. So that works for me. If that doesn't work for you, though, the only other thing I will say is obviously the tool we just built as an example was meant to be kind of a private for your eyes only kind of thing. But that only works if you are able to fully hold yourself accountable. And I think for some of you, you need somebody else to look at that, whether that's Jeff, whether that's Craig, whether that's Chris, whether that's your manager, whether that's a spouse. You need somebody else to help hold you accountable to the things that you say you want to go do. And I would argue that your spouse, if you're married or have a significant other, it's very important that they do this exercise too. So these align, because if they don't, you're going to have a lot more resistance beyond just your own, and it's going to be super hard to actually accomplish. So those are just a couple things that going through this exercise myself that I kind of figured out. I had Courtney do it. We're actually having the kids do it because we're just curious, right? Like what's going on in their heads and where do they want to be in 5 years? And what do they want our family to look like in 5 years? Because all of it needs to align or there's going to be pressure points somewhere down the line. So
And you're gonna have to,
just
and you're gonna
some
negotiate it out.
thoughts.
I'll
You're gonna
never
have to
forget.
negotiate.
Dad wanted to live on a boat in 5 years, and Kay did not.
Yep.
Kay flies around on an airplane for a living, so she lives in a tube, and she didn't want to go home and live in a tube.
She won.
She won.
There's a negotiation thing on that. So here's an example I kind of want to go through with you guys. And every one of us, right? Everyone what would you do with an extra $11,000 a month free cash flow? And I want to back you up into how we came up with that number, but I want you to play this game for a second. An extra 11,000 bucks. If you're crushing it, another 11,000 bucks is a game changer. If you're not crushing it and you're working to get up to 11,000 bucks, this works for you too. But let's go through the deal. So there's two questions I wanted to lead in with this one. Number one is, what do you want in Q1? Right? I'm not talking about all of 2021 right now. I'm talking about Q1 because that's the only thing we can control. We are 99.9% certain interest rates are going to stay super low, right, Craig?
Yep.
We are 99% certain that inventory is going to be a major problem, so everything you list is going to sell. And we're 99% sure that people are going to be looking to get investment properties because the stock market is going to continue to do well for the next 90 days is what we're seeing, okay? So with those assumptions, everything is possible. So here's the thing. That's question number one. What do you want? And number two is, how many deals do you need to close in order to get that? Okay. Now, let's walk through this. So there's 13 weeks between now and the end of Q1. 13 weeks. That's a long time. I'm saying, and you guys all know, that it's extremely doable, very easy to do if you work, to find one good appointment a week. Fair enough? One appointment a week. Now I'm going to
Qualified appointment is, Jeff, because we really
qualified.
Leadership, our agents can't afford. I'm going back and forth with an agent over in the beaches right now who's trying to get a mobile home listed for 9,900 bucks. And he doesn't know anything about mobile homes.
Yeah.
He's going to spend his time learning how to close a motor vehicle deal, a title on an automobile, basically. It's just not worth his time. And I think everybody needs to realize your efficiency today. I mean, you got to love them in the dreaming phase, but you can't be showing them houses and doing stuff. You have to get really, really good at, no, you're not ready yet. Keep looking online. Keep looking online. We're not going out looking. I'm not driving you to Safety Harbor and then to St. Pete Beach. You
Or
can't do it.
Or you can do that, but that's not your appointment this week. Don't trick that as to be in your appointment. Now you can have Chamber of Commerce city tour time if you want to, but that's not your appointment this week. One good solid appointment, pre-qualified, that has to buy, that has to sell.
Let's
Now,
draw deeper on what pre-qual. I mean, I'm serious, guys. If they say they're pre-qualified, you speak with a telephone to their loan officer and say, where are we at? That's not an option anymore. You're going to be serving multiple offers. And for you to spend the time with this qualified buyer and not win at the offer presentation is just adding insult to injury. So I want you to build a relationship with their loan officer. Hopefully it's your loan officer. Get them to call the listing agent, say, hey, I just want you to know you're getting an offer from my agent, Lauren. And I've worked with these buyers before. This is the third mortgage I've given them. I've got their pay stubs. I got their tax returns. They're golden. Or tell the story. They're a first-time home buyer. They're going VA, but they're so special. They just want a place to raise their family and blah, blah, whatever it is. But you have to know that story. And you have to have this conversation with every buyer because that's the market we're in. And if you don't have this conversation, you're going to write 8 offers to get one accepted, and their efficiency is going to drop through the floor.
And you need to take control. Guys, people buy homes every 7 to 9 years now as an average turn, right? So the last time they did this, the market was not like this, okay? So we're the trusted advisors, we're the professionals, we're the ones that are looking to guide them through this process. So take damn control and say, I know you bought homes before. However, you haven't bought them in Q1 of 2021. The world's changed. Here's how it works right now. Let me show you how I run my business. Who's your lender? What's their phone number? We're going to do a joint Zoom call with them, right? Or I'm going to call them. Guys, take control. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to do well in Q1. It's just not going to happen. You've got to up your game. This is the time to crank it up, right? If you're serious, these are the steps we need to take. Okay?
And if you didn't watch,
boom.
go to day 3 of Next Level University on the app or be3agents.com and watch some of the classes between Chris and Otis and you and Mike and everything we talked about with buyers on day 3 was really spot on and very, very worth watching.
And non-negotiable, guys. This is the way you have to do it.
Or you're going to lose.
Or you're not going to make $11,000 a month, which is fine too. It depends on what you want. Now we're assuming that you watching could enjoy and have some life upgrades with an extra $11,000 after tax in your bank account to spend, right? So we need one person a week that's ready to buy, right? Really ready to buy. Like,
and that could be a buyer or a seller,
right? Or one seller that's really ready to sell. That's not thinking about it. I've got all kinds of friends that ask me about their houses and should they sell it or what do we think they should do. That's not an appointment. That is a conversation of a potential lead for the future, not an appointment. An appointment is, thanks for having me over. This take 5 and 25 minutes. Have a seat at the kitchen table. We've done 3 real important questions for you. Number 1, if you absolutely decide to sell. Number 2, we decide the price to sell. Number 3, do you want me to handle a sale for you? Boom, right? You got to get into this mode and do your presentation. If you aren't to that point with a client, that's not an appointment. So one good qualified appointment. Qualified. Okay, so that's it. So could you find one in 7 days? Yes, you know that. Okay, and there's 13 weeks. So one appointment a week. I'm assuming if you qualified well, you're going to have a 75% close ratio. That's just the way the numbers are going to work out. There's 9 deals. You were running numbers the other day that the average check, I'm putting $7,500 is what our average checks is right now. So that's $67,500. I'm going to make an assumption of a 70% split averaged out from just run the numbers. You can plug in yours if you want to, but even at a 70%, that's $50,000 in earnings. A tax rate of a third, 33% tax rate, just ballparking the number. That's $33,000 net, okay, this quarter. And that's $11,000 a month. That's $132,000 this year. Okay, so $11,000 a month to you after tax, after split in your bank account. Okay, now that is 100. That's an extra $11,000 for those of you making $100,000 a year. Good, make another 100. Why not? This is the quarter. Just do it as long as we find a reason to go do that. So I wrote down, what could you do with $11,000? Because this is the key. If you can't answer this question, it's never going to happen. So I put down this.
I like this game.
Right? This is the game. This is our whole game. And it is a sport. Big ass smile.
Let me talk on that because we have a abundance problem. We mostly approach things with a scarcity mindset. It's going to run out. It's going to run out. It's going to run out. So what is that telling your brain? It's going to run out. It's going to run out. A true abundance mindset is I'm going to have this every month. And we collectively have a hard time believing that. You know, if you're a corporate executive making $500,000 a year, that's pretty safe. You're going to make your $500,000 a year because you got a contract and all this other stuff. If you're a sports player, you're a Tom Brady, he's got a contract saying he's going to make $40 million a year. So he knows that's coming, right? So that's a different mindset. We are independent contractors working in a real estate business that is like this. So it's really difficult to look at the abundance mindset, right? So this is hard for a lot of people to play that you're going to make, but you have to understand you control that. The only action we've asked you to do is to look for and find one qualified appointment a week. That's 100% in your control. So, and you all know damn well you could do that. Find one a week, but you'd have to do some activities differently. So this is not pie in the sky. You know damn well you could get one qualified appointment a week. So, and using these numbers, I agree with you 100%. That would make you $11,000 a month. And then if you could stomach the fact that that's coming in every month, then go through, okay, what's your car payment? What's your rent? What's your mortgage? Add all those things up and how much is left over. And then what are you going to do with that? Well, maybe you could move into a nicer rental, or maybe you could move up to a nicer house, or maybe you could drive a more expensive car, or maybe you could put a couple $1,000s a month into an IRA or 401k or something to secure your future, right? I mean, I'll share with you, I just got into 401ks about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know why. And I just started an IRA about 4 or 5 years ago, right? And every year my CPA said, put money in your IRA. And I'm like, why? He says, because it's going to take it off your income and you won't have to pay tax on that money. I said, but I don't have an extra $5,000 to put into my IRA because I lived hand to mouth. I spent everything I made, right? That's a problem. That's 20 years of wasting time that I could have been building wealth, right? Because I had the scarcity mindset that I couldn't put that in. Once I started doing it, my financial guy says, Craig, just do it, right? You'll forget about it. It'll become automatic. Just take it out of your check every time and make it happen. And so that's a demonstration of reality. I've done that ever since now, and I'm just fine. I made it just fine. But scarcity mindset limits you from this concept, right? There's only one thing we've asked you to do. And if you can't figure that out with all of our trainings, then I don't know what to say to help you.
The only reason you wouldn't have the inspiration and passion and relentlessness to find one appointment is you didn't have a reason, right? So let's go through this for a second. So I wrote down big ass car, big ass smile car, not big ass car, big ass smile car. And every one of you knows what your big ass smile car is, and it's perfect for you, whatever that is. But I wrote down a number, and it is bigger than most, $800 a month. Or if you have a nice car, add $800 a month to it. So what's your car payment right now? And what would an extra $800 a month on that car payment buy you? You're the only one that knows that answer. Typical car payment, $200-300 a month. What do you get for $800 a month? What do you get for an extra $800? If you're already paying $300, what do you get for $1,200? What do you get for $2,000? Now, some of your drunk monkeys are saying that's stupid. I would never pay $1,500 a month for a car. Then don't, right? But what if you did? Because here's the thoughts. What are the benefits of having an $800 a month car or $800 extra, right? Let's be logical for just a second. What are the benefits of having a nicer car? Let's list a couple of them out.
Safety.
Safety is probably the number one easiest justification in the world, because here's a simple fact. A $200 a month car has a steel beam in it that's this big in the door. An $800 a month car has a steel beam in it that's this big in the door of the car. Any questions? Okay. It's a safety, it's an insurance. A $200 a month car has this many airbags. A $800 a month car has this many airbags. Right? I mean, God forbid something happens to you, increase your odds of walking away.
Unheard.
John just wrote in, little or no maintenance, right? It's included. They'll fix everything. They do those things. Insurance, all these other things roll in to your peace of mind and your comfort and safety. Is that worth something? Yes, guys, all we're talking about is the byproduct of one appointment a week. I'm just getting your brain to think about, and I want you to cringe a little bit when you get into your car and you think about the gauge of steel that's probably wrapping you. You deserve a thicker gauge of steel. And you just do. Plus, would it make you feel better? Would it make you swagger a little differently? 100% it would, and it will, and it should. So do it. Right? One appointment a week. That's the byproduct. An extra $800 a month or $800 a month. Because guys, to Craig's point, you're going to have people, he's talking about people that have a contract, like the Tom Brady's of the world or corporate execs. You need to create a contract with yourself. You're an independent contractor. So contract with yourself to find one appointment a week. And if you find one appointment a week, you're going to spit off $11,000 free cash flow a month. One.
and then play the game with us for a while longer. Because when we go to next level, it's 2 appointments a week. Then it's $22,000 a month.
Or it's one appointment in a different neighborhood, right? That's all the fun part, guys. This is not rocket science, right? It's simple. So $800 a month car. Follow this example. I want you to make some notes. So $11,000 a month, $800 a month for your car. Big ass smile house improvement. I don't know what you pay for your house right now, but let's say it's $3,500 a month, right? For your next one, or an additional $3,500 a month. What else could you buy with an additional $3,500 a month to your mortgage expense or your rent expense? Just the byproduct of one appointment a week, guys. So you know what you pay right now to live, add $3,500 to that. What could you be living in? You're in the business. You know the answer to that question. What's the benefit of living somewhere that costs $3,500 a month more? Safety, right? Go back through the list, right? The windows of where you live now, $3,500 extra, the windows are like that, right? It's the comfort, it's the safety, it's the security, it's all the other stuff. It's the neighborhoods, it's surrounding benefits of the neighborhoods. And all that stuff rolls into it. So there's $3,500 a month for a house upgrade, right? What if you just took your existing house and did a reno loan and added another bedroom and a second floor and a pool and redid your kitchen and your bath and raised your mortgage payment $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month, $3,500 a month? Why not? It's the byproduct of one appointment a week. Puma.
Hey, John wrote in, benefit of the new car is little to no maintenance out of your own pocket. You get a new car. John's a great example of that. When John came to work with us, he drove like a 1980 something Jeep, ragged out. I mean, well used. And we talked him into buying a new Jeep. So he went out and bought a brand new Jeep car, and it was shiny. The paint was nice, and it didn't break down. I would see John, what are you doing? My water pump broke. I got to put a new water pump in the car. I mean, he hasn't put a water pump in his car in years now because they upgraded and got a new one. So those of you that deal with car expenses, that sucks. Get a new one.
Yeah, change your car expense, right? Plus, with your accountant, you could probably write it down too, write it off. I'm not giving you tax advice, figure it out. Next thing on the list, this is all a byproduct of one appointment a week, guys. One appointment, not even a deal, one appointment.
That you close
groceries,
75% of.
$1,500. That's a lot. Well, what's the difference between the organic bunch of broccoli and the regular bunch of broccoli? What's the difference in it's $9 for the free range pasture raised organic egg dozen. It's $2.83 for a non one, right? What's the difference? I don't know. Maybe it's a difference to you, maybe it's a not, but shouldn't you have the luxury and the option to choose that? Right? That's your choice. So that's just the byproduct of one appointment a week, is that utilities are going to go up, right? We'll put $1,000 a month in your utilities because your house goes up. So does that. You're going to need a pool guy now. You need a yard guy now. You need all that stuff too. I was going through an example with one of the agents we're coaching, and she was kind of complaining about, should I get the transaction coordinator? Should I hire people to do this stuff? And we went through the example of, what are you worth? Right? What is your hourly worth? And you go through your monthly income, how many hours you think you realistically do work. And, sometimes you're like, oh my God, I only work that much and I made that much, whatever the number is, but that's going to give you, what are you worth per hour? And if you're doing work that you could pay somebody less to do that work, you're better off doing what you go do to earn more, right? So these are the kind of thoughts that you start to have. And yes, you may enjoy mowing your yard, but go enjoy something else and stimulate the economy and pay the guy to mow your yard and go do something else, right? If you want to. These are just the luxuries that you have, the choices, if you're doing one appointment a week on that one. So if you did these things, I just upped your utilities, your car, your house, and your living expenses. Now you have an additional $4,000 a month, Greg.
Yep.
After you blew $800 on a car, $3,500 extra on your house, $1,500 a month on your food, $1,000 extra on your utilities, you still have $4,000 left. And if you don't spend it, you don't get it next month. That's kind of the contract with yourself, is how do you allocate this money? Like, what do you do with the extra $4,000? Why don't you, how about buy a little Bitcoin? How about buy some Amazon? How about buy some Facebook? How about buy some obscure stock that you feel like buying? How about put it into a 401k? How about put it into something? How about save up money to put into an investment property? Right? That's $48,000 a year, guys. That's an extra $4,000 a month. That's 48,000. Could you buy an investment property, Craig, with 48,000 at the end of the year?
Yes.
100%. You could buy a nice investment
That's
property
why we
every year.
introduced you to the renovation loan people. 15% down buys your renovation loan. 48,000 is what percent of 15?
You buy a beachfront vacation rental house for 48,000 bucks.
That's
Like
right.
the Sandalwood,
Sandalwood.
right? So these are the things that now buy one of those every year. Simple fact, you buy the crappiest house. I was talking to another agent the other day. We're coming up with their plan for Q1. Buy the crappiest house you can find right now. Like literally, go find the crappiest house you can find right now that's structurally sound and buy it. And then put a renter in it to cover the payment of it, and then forget about it. And on a 15-year mortgage, what do you have 16 years from now?
Free and clear house.
A free and clear house. So
Paid for by
what's the
somebody else.
right? So let's say you bought it. What's the ugliest, cheapest house you think you could buy that's structurally sound right now? Give me an example. How much? 100 and what?
$150 probably if it's livable.
$150,000 a month. Good job, Lauren. You hit it. $150,000 a month, and you get it at an investor loan of 3%. You're putting somebody's butt in there, and they're paying the mortgage. Whether they cash flow you or not, who cares, right? Let's say you make a couple $100 a month. It's negligible. 16 years from now, what do you think that $150,000 house is going to be worth? With your calculator, do a 3% appreciation over 15 years.
But
On
just
that.
simple math. So 150,000, 3% appreciation is 4,500 for 15 years, 67.5. It's worth 250.
It's worth 250, and that didn't even compound it, right? So let's just say it's worth 250,000 bucks. So now, 16 years from now, you've got $250,000 asset gifted to you that somebody else has paid for the last 15 years. And then if you do this every year, guess what you bought next year? Another shitty $150,000 house. And guess what you have 17 years from now? Another $250,000 bucks.
Every
Then
year
you
for the
bought
next
another-
15 years.
Then you get another one and another one, another one, another one. $250,000 a year. That's pretty sweet, right? So you want to know what you're going to do with the money? That's what you're going to do with the money. And you don't even need 48 grand to go do that. You need 20, you need 30 grand. You need even less than that to buy a little house, guys. So this are the things to start thinking bigger. What are you going to do? Right? What is the reason to make sure you get one appointment a week? And then if you didn't get it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're actually going to go get it on Saturday. Why? Because you want to live this way. You deserve to live this way. What's that?
Because you have a contract with yourself to get one appointment a week.
That's right. And sometimes you're going to have to work Sundays to get it. Other times you're going to nail it out on Monday, right? But it's your job. But if you don't have the why, you're not going to go do it. That's the whole thought on this thing. You got to believe it. You got to know it, guys. There's no question. Success leaves clues. One of Dad's best sayings, right? Success leaves clues. You look at the tops, guys. Every quarter, we've got many agents making $100,000 plus a quarter, right? A month, right, Craig? We got agents crushing it over 6 figures a month, right? A month. And I'm talking about just adding an extra $100,000 a year. It's one good qualified appointment a week, and you don't even have to get it to go under contract. Just one good appointment, guys. This is how fun. But if you don't have the why at the other end of this one, you're not going to go do it. You're not going to pull the list. I know it's hard, guys. We've all done it. We do it still, right? Who are you going to call? Who are you going to talk to? What are you going to say? How are you going to find their numbers? How are you going to reach out to them? What videos are you going to post? Are you going to do the daily marketing guide? Are you going to do FSBOs? Are you going to niche? Are you going to learn Remind? Are you going to go work some expireds? Are you going to try to find FSBOs? Are you going to absolutely do the absentee owners? Are you going to focus on waterfronts, non-waterfronts, absentees, vacation owners? What are you going to do, right? Every single one of them is works. Every single one of them will result you one appointment a week. Every one of them.
Well, let me ask you a favor, not you, Jeff, the group. One of our initiatives for this year is market share in our local markets. There is no excuse that Century 21 Beggins is not the market leader in Indian Rocks Beach
That's right.
and Madeira Beach and downtown Sarasota and Longboat Key and. We're going to define as offices, marketplaces. And, it's just, we're better than that. We should have more listings than any company in Apollo Beach. And that's going to be a focus for us this year. So help us reach that focus and work around your current market zip code.
Yeah, if you need focus and a goal, we'll give you one, right? Because we have it as a company, but we don't want to disrupt yours, right? So if your goal is to become the queen of Instagram, make it happen, right? If you're not going to do that and you're floundering, we'll make you the queen of La Hacienda Drive and Bahia Vista and 10th Avenue and 9th Avenue in Indian Rocks Beach, right? If that's what you want, right? If that's what you need, because this is the time. We're going to be sitting back in March exhausted. I promise you, we're going to say, can you believe what Q1 did? This is like astronomically out of the park, unbelievable wealth creating, ridiculous, probably never going to happen again real estate market, right? That's what we're looking at. This is what we're seeing. The crystal ball is working and it's saying all you have to do is get excited and come to work and you will have everything you want. And you want more than this, right? You want more than 11,000 a month? You want 12,000, 22,000 a month? 2 appointments a week. It's not hard math, but it's up to you to figure out what do you want to create. So how do
you have
we
to be diligent about your qualification? I think that's the biggest problem. I see too many people running around with people that are not able to be run around with. And you're making excuses, pretending to work, but you're not spending the time to get the one qualified appointment. But you're out there dancing around with somebody who's going to buy 6 months from now when the inventory you're showing them will not be available.
That's hugely important what Craig just said. Let's emphasize that. Now I want to caveat that you're probably going to still have to do what Craig just said.
Yeah.
That you're going to have to, if you don't pay attention to them during the dreaming phase, they won't pay attention to you in the buying phase. But if you burn your whole week with people who aren't ready to buy until April, there's no way you're going to find your real appointment for this week. So you've got to have time. And this goes back down to schedule. And this is your time this week to figure out, okay, what is my ideal schedule going to be for Q1? What days am I going to work? What time am I going to go to work? What time am I going to turn off? Right? And what appointments am I going to do? When is my prospecting time? When is my lead follow-up time? When is my Chamber of Commerce tour times? I'm going to Zoom call with people and show them houses, even if they're not ready yet. I'm going to go talk to the neighbors and tell them what their house is worth, what I think, even though they're not ready yet. Now, this is stuff you're going to still have to do, but that's not your appointment for this week. 30,000 a month is your goal, Jackie? Excellent.
Then you know what I'm going to say. What are you going to do with that? Because 30,000 a month is a lot of money. So let's say it costs you.
It's not sustainable without a lot of work. We're getting an echo on yours.
On mine?
I can hear me echoing. It just started. Did you do anything different recently?
Nope.
Greg, try muting out.
So yeah, now it's not doing it anymore. But here's the issue: 30,000 a month. We're gonna have to say we love you, Jackie, but it's not gonna happen. Right? It might happen 1 or 2 months, but it's not gonna happen consistently. It's back. The echo. Now it's off for some reason. Using your mic, I don't know what that is. But this is really important. Jackie has to come up with a real plan is where that $30,000 is going to go. Which buckets is that you get 30,000 bucks comes in this month? It's going into an IRA. 4,000's going here. 6,000's going here. 2,000's going here. 8,000's going here. 5,000's going here. Right. And then she still has to say, oh, God, what am I going to do with the rest? And she's got to figure that out, or the 30,000 will not keep flowing. It's that universal weird law, guys, that unless you know where it's going to go, it's never going to flow. Right? I promise you there's a weird law about that. It's absolutely true, which is why we're spending our time right now to help get your gears into motion on that one.
Yeah,
what do you say?
I know some high income earners and they have consistently, 50, 60,000 a month in income. But what do you think their check is that they actually take home?
lot less.
10,000 a month. The other 40,000 is deferred. It goes into another bucket that they never ever see. They live on their 10,000 bucks a month. The 40 is going pump 40,000 a month going into a thing for 12 months. That's 480 grand a year being invested for them. That's how they grow wealth. They live on the 10 grand and they invest the other 40 and they never even see it. So that's what Jackie would have to do. Right? Have buckets for that money to go into, because 30,000 a month is not uncommon in this business. That's only 360,000 a year. We've got 10 agents making that right now.
She
we'll
worked
have more
out
than
buy
that
a
this year.
beach house, do the IRA. Great. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Right? You're gonna.
Yeah, the beach house is only going to be what, 8,000 bucks a month on a mortgage?
Depending on the beach house.
Maybe more. Yeah. Got it.
It depends on if you cash flow it, then you got all kinds of issues. So that's the thing. So what should you be doing in the next few days as you hit the ground running for Q1? I really recommend you go play around on Google Images, right? Go play around on Pinterest. Go type in badass pool. Go kick ass family vacations, right? And get some really neat inspiration pictures, right? And say, whoa, that's a little over the top, but I like it. And when you have a big ass smile on your face, when you picture yourself in that picture, that's what you're supposed to have, right? And go searching and figure it out and say, what do I want? Like, and then it's got to switch from what do I want to what am I committed to? Because sometimes you're like, boy, that would be great, but I don't think I'm really willing to do that. Which is fine too. But what are you committed to go doing? If you don't need the grotto pool with the ultra water slides and the fountains and the LED fountains and the flames, and you think that's just too much, then what do you want? What will you commit to? What's okay, right? And then what do you really want? What still puts a smile on your face? Because that's what I want to make sure that we're committed to. Go car shopping today. Go online and go car shopping today and figure out what do you really want. Price it out. Go to the dealership, smell the leather, feel the steering wheel, take the test drive, and say, do you want to do this every day? And if you do, then just do it, right? Go to a boat show, go to a boat dealership, go walk around on the boats. They'd love to have you, right? Figure out what the costs are, how much of a down payment is going to be. Go talk to their lender. Even if you have no clue how the hell you're going to buy it because you're broke ass right now, that's great. At least you're not going to be at the end of Q1 because you're going to find one appointment a week. And you say, wait, I need to put down 28 grand to have that boat? Fine. Watch this. I'll be cruising on this bad boy in May. Right? That's how this starts. And so where am I going on vacation for March? Where am I going for July? What am I going to do in August? Go online. Where have you never been you want to go? Go. Assuming COVID is over and we're traveling again, which we will be. Right? Where are you going? Where do you want to be? What's happening? All these things. And that becomes your vision board, right? That becomes your reason to get up. Put it on your wallpaper on your phone. Put a picture of it up on your bathroom mirror. Put it on the wallpaper on your phone when you're looking at it, right? I mean, really, every day, have the reminder. Share it with your spouse. Share it with your brother, sister, cousins, neighbors, dog, kids, and say, put this up on your kids' thing. One of the other things we're doing, I love that some agents are doing, they're going to their kids and saying, okay, spring break, right, or summer break, we're going wherever you can imagine we can go. You get to choose whatever you want, right? Wherever it is. I don't care where it is. You pick it, you pick the experiences, and I'll make it happen. And then give them a week, and they have to come back to the dinner table and say, this is what I would love to have as my ideal vacation. Then go. Go. That's the whole difference, guys, right? And then there's one of your things. What is your kid going to come up with? What's the craziest trip they're going to come up with? They're not as crazy as you. They're going to come up with a crazy ass trip that's going to cost 10 grand, 15 grand. Good. You're making 11,000 bucks a month, right? So you've got the money to do it, but just come up with the reasons and that's just think bigger. This is the whole exercise for today is bigger, 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 right? Not in a stressful way, but in a realistic way. What is your next level life?
And set that intention to set one appointment a week, one really qualified appointment a week. That's the key to this whole thing. Once you have the why, you need to do the what? The action.
But tell them the real secret behind this though, Craig, is once you have the why, right? And you go through the exercises, you have the vision, you know the car, right? When you come to me, say, I'm going to buy a new car, what do I always ask? Which color?
Okay.
What's the interior? Which wheel package? Which trim? Which engine? What features? And you go, I don't know. Well, then you don't know, you're never going to get the car, right? So go back and answer all these questions and figure it out, right? Because this is the secret. Once you have that completely in your mind, completely visualized, and the energy and the commitment is there, saying, I will be living this lifestyle. It will happen. Nothing's going to get in my way. I will go. All I need to do is find one appointment. I don't even care how I'm going to find one appointment, but I'm going to go do that because I deserve that. I will be living that way and it's going to happen. That sets it all in motion. The energy goes out, the intentions go out, things align, things come back. And then now, when you're going out there to talk to people, you're going to start to meet people, end up being invited to places, right? Have circumstances and things happen to you that get you to your nephew's baseball game, that you meet somebody who knows somebody doing something that you get in the middle of, and then poof, now you have all the money you ever wanted because you got in gear, you got in step. That's the whole game here, guys. I promise you it works. Right? I promise you. It's the true secret here. So you have to get all of these ideas so committed and then take action. Not crazy action, just talk to people every single day, and then you're going to watch things go on there. All right, let's see the gifts here. Sarah, I did that 1 year with my son for bar mitzvah gifts. His wish, we rented a room at Times Square New Year's Eve and watched the ball drop from our suite, worth every penny. How much did that cost, Sarah? It's so funny you said that because I was watching something today saying I would never want to be in the middle of the ball drop, but I would want a kick-ass suite. And I actually saw, I think it was Mandy Kaplan was recently in New York City, and she had pictures from her suite looking straight at the ball, just like a couple months ago, and she was there for a wedding or something. I'm like, that's the way to do it. So there's some curiosity. $10,000 for the night. However, your hubby had the miles to use for half of it. Good.
Still,
Right?
$5,000 a night.
Guys, those of you whose mind said, nope, not doing it, you've got to stop it because that's drunk monkey. That's 1 month, right? That's one deal. Now, how long is that memory going to last?
There you go.
Forever and ever. For those who are in that suite that night, that memory is there forever. It was 10 grand. It was one deal. It was 1 month's worth of work, right? For a lifetime of memories. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Right? And that's after, of course, convertible Chevy Mustang, blue with an orange stripe. Of course, go Gators. I love it. So guys, this is it. Thinking bigger. This is what drives us to keep doing what we do, is to watch when Lauren swings by in her Gator flag going, check it out, I got it, right? And hopefully this inspired somebody else to go do something. And guys, we're so lucky to have this group of people that we have in our tribe, in our family, in our core group, and you guys are it, right? Like attracts like, right? When we set out the energies and we start thinking this way, it becomes a norm and it becomes the way it's supposed to be. And now you share what your big ass goals are for Q1, and somebody says, that's a great idea. You know what? I'd love that too. And now you up your game. And then we do the same thing again at the end of Q1 to see what we could do for Q2. And then we do the same thing for Q3 and Q4. And then we've got the coolest tribe of people, which is all we want, right? A cool ass tribe of people that are striving to live to a next level lifestyle, puts a big ass smile on their face, right? That's what our whole mission is to do here. But you got to keep stretching it a little bit. And it's not always stuff, right? But it's got to match your vision of what type of lifestyle you actually be living here. Very cool.
That's it. All right, guys. So please use this time this week. No training at 8:30, and us included, management. Let's take this 8:30 to 9:30 sacred time and use it for dreaming and planning and coming up with what puts a big ass smile on your face. And the rest of us are going to be busy. We have all the closings we got to tend to, and that has to happen. So that's not like you have time off, but you have the mornings off for those of you.
Grab your phone right now and make appointments with yourself that you cannot miss, and that's it. And go somewhere, like go sit somewhere, find your little happy space. Go find a park somewhere. Go to the beach. Go sit somewhere. Go wherever it is for you, and lock yourself down for an hour and dream, right? And think. and put down on paper. Go get the pictures on your phone. Go to Google, type in something that you're thinking about. Go hit the images button, and you'll have pages and days of you can keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling pictures. And when you find one that says that resonates with you and like that's it, save it. Save it to your camera roll. And then that becomes exported. That becomes your vision board. Boats, cars, houses, physical body, whatever it is, all the things that are important to you. Save the pictures, get it going so we can walk into Q1 with that swagger, knowing that you've got everything that you need. So, love it.
Love it too. A journey, guys. A fun journey.
And then we're all here. So when you need something, reach out. If you get stuck anywhere along the way, hit your manager up, hit us up. We'll help nudge you and get you on track, guys. Because I promise you, Q1 will go down as history as the best quarter anomaly in the history of the real estate industry, and you're living in it right now. But if you don't grab it and ride it, you're going to really kick yourself in the ass for missing it. So this is the time. Everything you put down will happen. And this is the time to really just tell everybody you're going to go full throttle for Q1. And you're going to be really happy that you did. So we love you guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Rest up.
And
You're going to need the energy. It's going to be a good
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
Good quarter.
And share anything you want with us. We love seeing what your boards are, and we'll help push you a little bit, guys. Have a wonderful day.